Welcome to Study 9 in our Search the Scriptures study of the book of Hebrews. This should get us back on track after being a day behind. Let's look at Hebrews chapter 7, beginning with verse 15 through verse 28 today. So picking up on where we left off in the last study in Hebrews chapter 7. We're going to answer two questions today. The first question is taken from verse 15 through verse 25. The second question from the last four verses of this section. Question 1. What are the distinctive differences between the Levitical and the Melchizedek orders of the priesthood in qualifications for office, in continuance in office, and in efficacy? Next, in relation to Christ's office, what is added by God's oath? Second question from the last four verses. How do these verses show that in Jesus we have a perfect high priest and that he perfectly meets the sinner's need? And in what ways is he unique both in person and in work? Well, let's read these 14 verses beginning in Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 15. And what we have said is even more clear if another priest, like Melchizedek, appears, one who has become a priest not on the basis of a regulation as to his ancestry, but on the basis of the power of an indestructible life. For it is declared, you are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. The former regulation is set aside because it was weak, it was useless, for the law made nothing perfect, and a better hope is introduced by which we draw near to God. That better hope, of course, being the New Testament. Verse 20, and it was not without an oath. Others became priests without an oath. But he became a priest with an oath. Christ became a priest with an oath when God said to him, the Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever. Because of this oath, Jesus has become the guarantee of a better covenant. Now there have been many other priests since death prevented them from continuing in office. But because Jesus lives forever, he has a permanent priesthood. Therefore, he is able to save completely those who come to God through him, because he always lives to intercede for them. Such a high priest meets our need. One who's holy, blameless, pure, set apart from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other high priest, he does not need to offer sacrifices day after day, first for his own sins, and then for the sins of the people. He sacrificed for their sins, and only their sins, once and for all when he offered himself. For the law appoints as high priests men who are weak, but the oath which came after the law appointed the Son who has been made perfect forever. So back again to the questions. First question, what are the distinctive differences between the Levitical and the Melchizedek orders of the priesthood? Qualifications for office, continuance in office, and in efficacy. In relation to Christ's office, what is added by God's oath? Well, the Levitical order of the priesthood and the order of Melchizedek differ in that the Levites were qualified by birth. You were born a Levite, so you were born into the priesthood, and potentially, if you were, from that direct line of Aaron, you were in line for possibility of being high priest. Whereas Christ, or the order of Melchizedek, was qualified by declaration. God declared it. Likewise, the Levitical priesthood was not permanent because all of the Levitical priests, all of Aaron's descendants, died. Okay, Christ came in the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek and Christ had no beginning, no end, no genealogy. Also, Christ had no need to offer a sacrifice for his own sin because he was sinless. So he only offered himself as a sacrifice for us, the sinner. No need, like the priests in the time of Moses had a need to make a sacrifice for their own sin before they took care of the sacrifice for the people. Jesus was not a sinner. No need for that type of sacrifice. Hope this is helpful to you. We're going to continue talking about this in our next studies. It's a fantastic book. It's really good to study this right after studying the book of Leviticus. Kind of helps bring it all together and to make sense out of it. Hope you're having a great day. Hope the rest of your day goes fantastic. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow for study number 10.